This one is for my divorcees. That's because I've been there. So the hardest part after being divorced is not always just losing the marriage. Sometimes the hardest part is meeting yourself again after everything that relationship took out of you. It's waking up and realizing the life you got used to is no longer the life that you have. It is grieving the person, the routine, the future you picture, the memories, the inside jokes, the holidays, the plans, and the versions of yourself that believe it will last forever. That kind of loss is heavy because divorce does not only end a relationship, it can make you question your choices, your judgment, your worth, your future, and even your ability to trust love again. And that is what makes it so painful. You're not just healing from what happened, you're healing from what you expect would never happen. And so some people think that the hardest part is being alone, and for some it is. But for many people, the hardest part is the silence after the storm. So there's no more pretending, no more trying to hold it together, no more fighting for something that keeps falling apart. And now you're left alone with the truth. The truth that you were unhappy longer than you admitted. The truth that some things broke you more than you told people. The truth that part of you stayed too long because you wanted love to win. The truth that even when leaving was necessary, it still hurt. That's the part people don't talk about enough. Just because divorce was the right choice does not mean it was an easy one. And just because the relationship needed to end does not mean that your heart does not still ache. There's a very specific kind of pain in having to let go of something you once prayed would get better. You grieve the marriage. You grieve the dream. You grieve the time. You grieve the energy. You grieve the hope. And sometimes, if we're being honest, you even grieve the version of you that kept trying. What makes it even harder, what makes the divorce so hard, is that life often keeps moving regardless of whatever you're going through while your heart is still trying to catch up. People expect you to be strong. People assume that because the papers are signed, the pain is over. No, baby. And then people tell you to move on like healing is something you do in a weekend. But healing after divorce is not that simple. Some days you miss them. Some days you miss who you were before the pain. And some days you do not miss them at all. You just miss having someone there. Some days you feel peace. Some days you feel anger. Some days you feel embarrassed. And some days you feel relieved it's over. And then there's some days you feel all of that all at one time. And that does not mean you are broken. That means you are grieving something that's real. The healing truth is that divorce can break your heart, but it can also introduce you to parts of yourself you abandoned while trying to survive that relationship. It can teach you what you ignored. It can expose what you tolerated. It can reveal how much of yourself you lost trying to keep the peace, keep the image, keep the promises, or keep someone who was no longer keeping you. And as painful as the truth is, it is also where your healing begins. Because once the marriage ends, the real work becomes this: learning how to stop measuring your value by what failed. Yeah, your divorce is not proof that you are unlovable. It is not proof that you are a failure. It is not proof that your story is over. But sometimes divorce is the painful proof that you finally stopped betraying yourself. Sometimes it's the ending that saves your life, your peace, your confidence, your sanity, and your future. And here's my lesson. The hardest part after being divorced is not just letting go of them. It is learning how to hold on to yourself again. Hold on to your worth. Hold on to your voice. Hold on to your standards. Hold on to your healing, even when it is slow. Hold on to the truth that a relationship ending does not mean your life ended too. Yes, you are allowed to hurt. Yes, you are allowed to mourn. You are allowed to feel the weight of what was lost, but do not stay stuck in the belief that because it ended, you lost everything. Sometimes after divorce, what you're really doing is clearing space for peace, wisdom, boundaries, and a stronger version of yourself. And that version of you, they deserve a chance to live too. So you got to keep going. You got to keep going.